But Mac Jones didn't lose that game. I mean, he missed a third down throw, he's got steamrolled, it's 14-0 after 3 plays. But other than that, the guy played a great game. Mac Jones continues to play well. I don't know how much better, honestly, with what they have to throw to, is Brock going to be. I mean, I think the world of Brock. We all do. I don't know how much better he's going to be with what they have to throw to right now versus Mac Jones.
But we were talking out prior to Baldy, Shasky, saying, do you think this Niners team is good enough to just beat anyone? And I know you can give me the any given Sunday, but as it pertains right now to the NFL standings, you got the Eagles, Seahawks, Lions, Bucks, Rams, Bears, Packers. Those are the top 7 right now in the NFC playoff picture. Niners now on the outside looking in. So I think this team right now, thank God the schedule is the way it is, because they got the Cardinals, who I think they should beat. They could be. I think they should beat the Cardinals. I think they're a much more better run organization right now. I know you're scoffing that.
Well, you just said a minute and a half ago. What do you mean did I just say? You
think I'm talking about both sides of my ass? Like, what are you saying?
Well, like you just said a minute and a half ago, they're not going to beat it. Like
they're not beating good teams. No, they're not beating good teams anymore. The Cardinals aren't a good team.
Games are always going to, against the Cardinals, are always more difficult. When was the last time they blew out the Cardinals? I can't even remember.
No, I'm not saying they're going to blow out the Cardinals.
Okay.
I think they're going to beat the Cardinals on Sunday in Arizona. That's it.
I don't even know who's quarterbacking.
We got Baldy back. We're good. Baldy, we got you. Sorry about that.
Yeah. To answer your first question, Joe, yeah. I mean, the way the Rams went down the field against them, like Grant went through Richmond. I mean, they were helpless. Like they did everything they wanted to do. And they've got a healthy team, and the 49ers don't. Like, honestly, in the first half, they got back into the game. Credit to 49ers. They made it, 21-14, 28-20. They got back in the game. So you give them credit. But honestly, in that first half, they threw to Kittle and Jennings. That was it. Like, the Rams are throwing to Nakua. They're throwing to Davante. They're throwing to every tight end, all 4 of them. They're throwing to the backs. The offensive line is healthy. Like, it's just different, And McVay's out there calling these plays, and they've got a healthy quarterback that doesn't really miss when somebody's open. And the 49ers are just challenged, whether they have to blitz. They've got all these young kids out there, trying to compete against this offense that has as much offense and variations of offense than anybody in the league. Anybody. Like, I don't know how they install all this stuff, to be honest with you. It's so diversified. But yet, that's what you're up against when you've got all these kids out there trying to play.
Baldy, in the first half, it felt like they isolated Renardo Green and Jair Brown and tried to attack those two. And then in the fourth quarter, in that one drive, they went after Luke Gifford. They went with the 3 tight end set. I thought McVay he was brilliant in this one, and they just picked on certain guys. What did you think of the secondary play as a whole for the 49ers?
Well, the Davante Adams touchdown bothered me because they've got Mustafa out there guarding Davante Adams in the slot. And you've got Deommodore Lenoir, guarding grass on the other side of the field. You can't – this is a Hall of Fame receiver who leads the NFL in touchdown catches. You got Renardo Green out there, on Nakua, fine. But, they're in a twin set. When you're in twins reveal what your coverage is. So I don't know why the safety is matched up on – and now maybe Davante beats whoever's out there. I mean, he's that good. But you at least give yourself a chance. You give Davante Adams against a young safety with all that real estate, you're going to give up a touchdown. Now, that's just one play. But, look, those hit screens, they get killed on those things with Nakua, and they set him up so good. It's everything. It's Nakua's release. He's tying up the corner. While he's tying them up, here comes the line. Here comes your tight ends. Then the ball is thrown on time, and all of a sudden, you got a convoy. Next thing you know, you're in the end zone.
Talking with Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast, our Odyssey NFL Insider Best Football Show podcast. And Baldy, another big thing that came away from this game was actually after the game, Kyle Shanahan speaking to the media and basically said, we were thinking about suiting up Brock to be the backup for this game. They decided against it, and we're going to see if he could be fully participating in practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I guess my question is, if he's good enough to suit up as a backup, shouldn't he be starting?
Well, maybe I don't know. I mean, yes. I mean, if he could be the backup, you're one play away always from being back on the field. But Mac Jones didn't lose that game. I mean, he missed a third down throw, he's got steamrolled, because it's 14-0 after 3 plays. But other than that, the guy played a great game, finding Farrell for a touchdown. I mean, seeing the whole field, getting the ball to Jennings, to Kittle, like all the things he did. It was amazing touchdown by Kittle out there on the sideline, just an amazing, piece of footwork. It's, the whole thing. But Mac Jones continues to play well. I don't know how much better, honestly, with what they have to throw to, is Brock going to be. I mean, I think the world of Brock. We all do. I don't know how much better he's going to be with what they have to throw to right now versus Mac Jones.
When I look at that offense right now, I do feel like Mac's playing really well. There were blitzes on the edge, and he got rid of the ball. He made a couple of really nice tight window throws that were layered over defenders. He made a great throw to CMC in the red zone. I've been really impressed with his toughness, his IQ, and his ability to read defenses, independent of just the Brock situation. Like, how well has Mac played just in general when you compare him around the rest of the league? I feel like I'm watching an elite player right now.
I do too. He looks like, what you want from a first-round pick. He gets rid of the ball on time. He sees the whole field. He's got enough arm to get the ball anywhere he needs to get it to. I can't find a fault with what he's doing. He's mobile enough, in order to avoid a quick pressure. You didn't hear, honestly, none of those guys up front really, made a difference. I mean, Jared Verse, Byron Young's a good player. I mean, honestly, the 4th and 1 play killed them. It just killed them down there. Not to be able to pick that yard up. Everybody else is running quarterback sneak or like that play killed them in that part of the game right there.
Let's break down that play because just in general, I walked in yesterday. I said, guys, they started to have success when B-Rob was going north and south, not east and west. I know they want to run the outside zone stuff over and over and over. I hate that as a short yardage play, but it feels like the best game they've had all year was when they stuck between the tackles with CMC and they went north-south. I hated that play on 4th and short for a variety of reasons, and I just feel like they're hell-bent on getting the outside zone going, and there's just no holes, no cutbacks. I'm not loving just what they're doing in the run game right now.
Byron Young made the play, and Jared Verse is shaped like there's no way McKivitz can cut off Verse on the backside. So, he's cheating the play. He already knows it's an outside zone to the left. For whatever reason, he's cheating the whole play. So there's no chance for any cutback. He's going to make the play. So then you got to keep it onside. And honestly, like asking your tight end to cut off, Byron Young right there, I don't know if any tight end could do it. The kid's got 9 sacks. This is better than any sack, that 4th down stop right there. And, you got Luke Farrell out there. Like, look, it's 2 tight end sets. I'm with you. Like, it's too much of a gamble is what you're saying, Joe. It's too much of a gamble to go wide right there. Everybody has got some form of push going on to get a yard. And when you can't get a yard in this league, you end up losing the game. Like, I felt like that was an important play in that spot to get back into the game. The 3rd and 3 stop, where Jennings fumble and the 4th and 1 stop, like against the Rams team, that's basically 2 turnovers, and you're not going to beat them.
Yeah, I agree. And I look at the offense as a whole. Kittle was outstanding. I still feel like he's probably injured to some level. He made an unbelievable toe tap touchdown. I know it was late in the game. It might have been garbage time. I just feel like they don't have the big explosives, and they really miss Ricky Pearsall. I didn't notice Kendrick Bourne at all.
Nope.
How much does this offense miss that vertical deep threat?
Huge. It's a huge part of this entire offense is to be able to stretch the field and take your shots. I mean, you go into the game, Joe, with probably 4 or 5 shot plays where you're going to go, okay, this is and Kyle has always been good about when to dial that up and take that shot. He's got a feel for it. He knows how to attack. You got Emmanuel Forbes out there who's a penalty waiting to happen, and they never really went after him. He got the interception. He made him look like a good corner. The weakness for this Rams team, to me, is their corners. And if you're not attacking them down the field, you're not getting the defensive pass interference penalty. You're not getting the big plays. And so, whether it was Aiyuk in past years or Pearsall right now, I mean, Kendrick Bourne has a role. He's a chain mover. They caught one ball in the second half. He wasn't a factor. Like it's hard. It's hard right now to be able to run your whole offense. Kyle's not going to say that, but like the offense is incomplete without that ability to hit that shot.
Talking to Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast, our Odyssey NFL Insider. And Baldy, a lot has been made right now with Brock Purdy and the injury. And a lot of Niner fans are kind of freaking out this morning because they see in the news yesterday, Joe Burrow, he's getting activated from the IR. His practice window is now open. It's looking like he's going to be back around Thanksgiving. This is a guy that dealt with an even worse version of Brock Purdy's injury in week 2. They elected to have the surgery. And there's a chance that we could see Joe Burrow before we see Brock Purdy again. And Purdy didn't even have the surgery. So let me just ask Baldy, how do you think they've managed and handled, the Purdy injury thus far?
Well, I can't make any judgment on that. I mean, I've had turf toe. Like sometimes the size of the bone is involved. Like there's just so many varying degrees. Some guys can practice with it. They can't practice with it. They can play with it. There's so many varying degrees. They made the decision right away with Joe to have the surgery. We saw him, in a uniform yesterday going out to practice. It's hard to say. I mean, it honestly is. Without seeing Brock, without seeing him, drop back 5 steps, plant on that foot and throw, like it's just too hard to know. Should he have had the surgery? Was it necessary? Like, I can't make that judgment, so I can't do it.
Totally fair, Baldy. Totally fair. This defense as a whole, they had a lot of new faces out there. Bethune's trying hard. He got knocked out, came back into the game. And then you saw Keon White and Cleve Farrell, their recent acquisitions. I thought Keon White showed me a little something. I don't know how he is against the run, but I saw some really nice pass rushes from him. But just overall, the defense, it's just they don't have enough playmakers, Baldy. I know the Rams are an awesome team. It just felt like we brought a water gun to a gunfight.
Look, look, Joe, I mean, honestly, if you can't affect Matt Stafford, he's going to beat you. Yeah. If you can't put him on his backside, if you can't get him on the run, on the move, hitting his arm as he's throwing, if you can't do that to him, he's just too good. Like he could, like there's a lot of MVP candidates after 10 weeks, but he's in that conversation of 3 or 4 guys. I just saw Drake May. He's awesome. Like you could go through the list of guys, Jonathan Taylor, but Matt Stafford's in that, he's in that conversation again. And they didn't affect him enough. Keon, like he's a good prospect. Like I think it's a good signing. I like Keon. I liked him coming out of Georgia Tech. I've talked to his coach when he's drafted. He's got tremendous size. He's got pass rush ability. He can play inside. He can play outside. There's things you can do with Keon. Cleve Farrell's been there. He knows the defense. Bryce Huff back on the field. Had a couple good rushes. But it's not enough right now to get after a guy like Stafford or when they play, Darnold again. It's just not enough right now.
When you look at the Rams and their overall philosophy, I feel like the Niners have tried to do a version of what they've done, which is, hey, we have an expensive quarterback. We're kind of a team in transition. We're going to draft, develop, plug and play. As someone that watches the film week in, week out, they've got so many young players that just contribute right away. What is it about their system? What is it about their draft philosophy and the guys they pick and the system they run where it just feels like so many of their young players contribute right away?
Well, I felt like the 49ers tried to do that this year, a year late. But, 2 years in a row, they drafted Kobe Turner, Byron Young, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. They're all starters, Then you add the pieces, and then 2 more defensive linemen this year that are on the field. Stewart's on the field, Josiah Stewart. Like they put their resources in their defensive line. I felt like the 49ers finally got to that this year, watching John Lynch at the Senior Bowl, looking at a very talented defensive line group. Now, Michael's hurt, but, Alfred Collins made the play of the year, the first Ram game, for the 49ers. We'll see what West is like, going forward. But I felt like the Rams, as soon as Aaron Donald hung it up, all they did was address the defensive line 3 years in a row. And that's the difference in this whole team. They picked up Nate Landman in free agency. Now, the guy is their defensive MVP. He got the fumble out of, he got the Peter punch on Jennings. That was a huge play in the game. Next thing you know, 3 plays and it's 14-0, and you're playing from behind. So they've addressed that. And then the question, the injuries they sustained on the offensive line a year ago, really, they struggled as a result. They lost Avila. They lost Havenstein. They lost Alaric Jackson. They lost all those guys in training camp. And they struggled all year to catch up. Now they're healthy, and they're really good all the way around.
Baldy, how big is the gap right now between the Seahawks, Rams, and the 49ers?
Well, obviously, the 49ers, reasonably healthy, beat both those teams, Seattle and the Rams early on. But now, you lose Nick, you lose Fred, you lose Stars, whoever else. You're now in third place. Seattle and the Rams, that's going to be, there's going to be next time they play, it's going to be a playoff game, and they might very well see each other in the playoffs. And the Rams and the 49ers they're trying to be that third team. We're seeing everybody beat each other up in the NFC North right now. There's going to be one team out of the East. There's going to be one team out of the South. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 teams out of the West. It's going to be the 49ers, more than likely, or one of those teams out of the North. Chicago's in it. Green Bay's in it. All of them are in it. But it sure looks like Detroit, is going to be there. But who knows? They're beating each other up right now.
The bread and butter for the Niners for years has been the run game, right? And everything kind of flows off the run game. Why is it they just, outside of the Atlanta game, it feels like they can't get the yards per carry, averages up? It for whatever reason, it's been more difficult this year. Is this scheme, personnel, teams are gearing up to stop it? Why is their run game so mediocre?
I just don't feel like they're as good up front right now. Whether it's, Brandel or, the left guards, they've had 3 different left guards, and I'm not saying that's an excuse. They've all played in the system. They've had a rookie in there. Cooney doesn't look as dominant as he did a year ago, although he played pretty good on Sunday. They're just not getting the daylight that I think McCaffrey needs right now in order to get those explosive runs. I thought Brian Robinson ran the ball really good for the second week in a row, when he got the opportunity. But they just fell so far behind that they had to really go to the passing game, down 21-0, leaned on that more than they wanted to, because sometimes it takes carries. It takes you to the late third quarter, fourth quarter to start finding the runs that are working in a game. And if you're not getting to those runs, early in the game when you're down 21-0, you don't get a chance to really figure out which ones are going to work that day.
Brian Baldinger here on The Roast. One more for you, Baldy, on the way out. We like to think of you here as our teammate at 95.7 The Game and obviously at Odyssey. Another one of our teammates here at The Game made the final 52 for the NFL Hall of Fame. That's Lorenzo Neal. Hey, Baldy, just give me any thoughts on that. How cool would it be for Lo to be the first fullback to make it into the National Football League Hall of Fame? Let's get this guy in there.
Well, I agree. We've got punters in there. We've got returners in there. We've broken the log jam at certain positions, and it's time, because if you look at the runners that Lo Neal blocked for, not just LaDainian, and obviously LaDainian has got one of the great years in the history of this game when he scored 31 touchdowns, went for over 2,000. I think that was 2006. He was a big part of it. LaDainian would be, if we can get Lo in, LaDainian is probably going to be the presenter, I would imagine. They were just that close, and one of the great players in the history of this game. But there was other, running backs as well that he blocked for. So, the 2-back system has come back in some places. Obviously in San Francisco, it's still there. Some places like the Rams, they use a tight end in that role. Allen was their fullback on Sunday. But I feel like the fullback in general is making a comeback in this league. And we're getting to more 2-back systems. And I think it lost some of its luster because it went all spread, but Moose Johnson with Emmett, like there's a place for a fullback in a Hall of Fame. There just is. It's not about stats. It's about being the eyes of great tailbacks in this business that deserve that type of attention. And I feel like Lowe, first of all, presented himself with pure class throughout his entire life, not just as a football player after football. I'd love to see him in a gold jacket.
I love that. Hey, Baldy, really appreciate your time this morning, and we'll do it again next week, man.
Yeah, you got it, guys.